Hey guys, before I jump into the video, for legal reasons, everything in this video just my take, my opinions. Anything that sounds like a fact is actually not a fact, it's just the way I see things. Anything I say about things that happened, people involved, it's just what I've heard, it's my interpretation, it's my opinion. Don't take it as hard fact. Yes, I'm saying that just to cover my ass for legalese, but, I do mean it. Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and it's time for another mega rant, except this one's not comedy-based or funny or observations about how silly people are and they act. No, I'm actually pissed. So, it's time to rip the idiots behind the Chia project a new ass. I could make this like an all crypto documentary where I try and explain all the math and details and all this, but I'm going to try and keep it real light and high level so you guys just get the gist of it. A lot of people aren't interested in like technical details. They just want to hear, okay, why is the Chia project massively screwing up? So if you're not familiar with Chia, it's a new cryptocurrency that was invented mostly by the creator of BitTorrent. Oh boy. I mean, whatever, hyper intelligent, respectable source. The math and the logic behind it is better than previous attempts at this type of mining, but instead of using GPU time and tons of watts and calculations, ASICs, which are like supercomputers basically, they usually run at like 3,000 watts each too, by the way. Instead of that, they use space and time. Not like the universe, I mean like hard drives. Like space on a hard drive and time to fill the hard drive. Real simple. So they call it Chia farming instead of Chia mining, which ironically farming is better for the environment than mining. I'm sure that wasn't on purpose, but then again, I'm implying forethought, and if you type in Chia farming into pretty much any search engine, you pretty much just get like Amazon listings for chia seeds because there's a plant called chia and you can farm it. You can like grow it at home. So that was, if that doesn't just give you the little hint of how intelligent the people behind this, the team behind this are, and the complete lack of forethought, or a basic fundamental understanding of how the internet works, all I gotta say is buckle up, because my God, I think these people might actually just be Amish or something. So instead of, naming it a made-up word like Pepsi or something, where when you Google Pepsi, you're only gonna get Pepsi, they named it Chia and called it farming, something that already exists. What were they thinking? So problem number one, the name. Problem number two, they launched a test net at some point where they just test it out and it's just a throwaway blockchain. So like, I pretend to send you 1,000 Chia, who cares? We're going to delete the whole blockchain anyway. The blockchain is like the ledger of like Sally sent, Billy 10, whatever. It's basically the transaction log for everything. Like that's the whole point of a crypto. So they ran a test net, fixed it, made sure it worked, made sure all the math was solid, tried to attack it, tried to find weaknesses. And then they're like, okay, cool. Let's launch the main net, which is now the permanent Chia blockchain, ledger of all transactions. But they launched it with trading or like sending disabled. So you could mine it or farm it, I should say, but you couldn't actually send the Chia tokens to anybody else. I think they're a token and not a coin. I honestly, at this point, who gives a shit? So that actually is smart. So I mean, if I bought a couple hard drives, a plotting, computer and all this crap, drop like $1,000 on it, the first thing I'm going to want to do is get my money back as quickly as possible. In case it crashes, in case it fails, in case somebody attacks the network or there's some fundamental flaw and it all goes tits up. So what they did is for like the first, 40, 50 days, something in that neighborhood, they were just like, hey, people come mine it, cool. Let's establish a network, get a comfortable amount of computers doing it, but we're going to have a future date set aside for opening up sending the actual crypto to each other. But if you solve a block in a day, which means that you just randomly happen to be the person responsible for sealing off a block full of basically blank transactions, you get 2 Chia coins. Like, it's not like they're sent to you, they are like created in your name. So your wallet file has 2 in it, you just can't send from wallet to wallet. Hopefully that makes sense. So, they waited, in my opinion, way too long to roll out trading because some people are like holding massive amounts of them. And what happened was, well, you can't trade on a large exchange for like US dollars or for Bitcoins or for Litecoins or for Dogecoins or any of that. You can't trade it if you can't send it, because you can't take your wallet file and say, okay, send it to, Coinbase. Nobody can send anything anywhere. So they thought, oh, we're in the clear. We're in full control. Oh, so I should mention, so they turned on wallet-to-wallet trading. They started, block number 1 full of transactions. But they decided, well, we're going to do that. We're going to let people send to people, but we're not going to launch like our little project where we have a whole bunch of major crypto exchanges where you can sell it off for money or sell it off for other crypto. We're not going to do that until later. So first, make sure it works. Second, make sure people can mine it and give people a couple. And then third, turn on, wallet to wallet sending. And then fourth, then we'll launch it on the major exchanges. So people go, buy and sell it, and the price goes up and down, and all that stuff, all the exchangey stuff. Well, it turns out they're clueless, naive morons who don't understand how the community or crypto works at all because some exchanges launched early. Because of fucking course they were. How stupid are you? But it's been long enough in the video without me explaining the number one problem, the just killer issue with the whole entire thing. So let's talk about pre-mining. When mainnet went live, or I would assume slightly before, they pre-mined a whole bunch of Chia. I forget what the amount is, but I think somebody said it's estimated to be 19 years worth or something like that. So at current prices, that's got to be close to several billion or a trillion. Let me just look it up. Let me look it up so you guys know how insane this is, how much they're holding. Okay, random highly upvoted Reddit post, they say that they have pre-mined 21 years worth of Chia. About 4,600 are created every day, so 21 years, do the math, that's 35.3 million Chia that they're sitting on. A lot of analysts, based on Burst Coin, Filecoin, previous attempts at storage-based, mining, farming, whatever, which had mathematical flaws, which is why that never really took off. Burst was a disaster. Based on the best we could guess from there, they thought, okay, the launch price of Chia should probably be around $20. Well, somebody launched it early, I'll come back to that, for $1,000, and then it went up from there. So then it went up and down and hit 700, 1,900, whatever. It's around 1,100 right now. So let's do some math. They are currently, the creators of Chia are sitting on 50% of all Chia that will ever be mined ever, by the way, in case you're wondering percentage-wise it is, but they're sitting on 35.3 million Chia, approximately, which is currently worth 1,100 apiece. So that is, let me count the zeros in the, okay, $38.8 billion. So I wouldn't trust any human being on this planet, me included, with $38.8 billion. For $1 billion, I would lie to your face, say I'm never going to touch it, and my intentions are perfectly pure, and then turn around and sell it on the black market and move to Caribbean Island, okay? $38 billion, I'm gone, bye, you ain't going to hear from me again. And how many people at their organization do you think have access to those funds? It's got to be one or two. I'd like to think that most of it's in cold wallets, but okay, that could be stolen out of a safe. It could be dug up from the ground. It could be, they could capture the person, kidnap him, torture him, give them the, the private keys, give them the location of where the private keys are held, or the storage devices or whatever. And then, somebody could hack into their servers, steal whatever's sitting there. I mean, even if they're going to stick to the whole, we're not going to sell it off, we're not trying to get rich, we're just holding this balance to lend it to other crypto exchanges. Still, just the fact that many exist, that we have gone 21 years ahead in time and stolen all those Chias and put them all in one place is batshit crazy. You've got this giant liability hanging over your head where at any point those could go missing, get stolen, exit scam, somebody could run off with it, whatever the hell. And it's enough that if they sold them all off, it would crash the entire network from $1,000 down to a penny. Which usually they wouldn't do. They'd unload them slowly. I get it. Cool. But you get that kind of downward pressure. 50% of all Chia that will ever be sold over the next 30 years will be sold, every couple months randomly. They'll sell off a huge chunk of it. That kind of downward pressure, it'll never be worth what it should. The cost of mining equipment and the cost of the time, the investment, the payoff period, and the electricity should be the sole factor for what sets the price of a crypto. So if you got the Chia Foundation or whatever the hell, just you know what, I could use another boat. Let's sell off another couple million worth. I mean, out of 38 billion, that's nothing. Well, there's another giant downward pressure on the exchange, a big sell order. Couple months later, another big sell order. Couple months later, another big sell order. It'll never survive that. All the people mining it will lose their ass. Everybody will be pissed. And by the way, that's already kind of happening. So, I mean, I'm kind of foreshadowing two more giant problems with it. But the pre-mining, I really wanted to shout that out because the fact that they pre-mined an astronomical amount of Chia, by the way, by cheating the algorithm and just tweaking the variables, because otherwise it would have, taken them 21 years to do that many. Because like I said, by default, 4,608 Chia are created every day. So they just tweaked how it worked and then tweaked it back. I mean, in the actual universe, it's not time travel, but mathematically, it's effectively time travel. So they've cheated the entire system and they're now in control of 50% of all Chia. That by itself, 90% of people who heard about it are they pre-mined that many, I'm out. Just period. If somebody pre-mines 1% of their currency, you're like, okay, they want to cash in on their invention, I get it, whatever, it's pre-mined, cool. And they do need money to send or to sell or to give or whatever to other exchanges to get them up and running. Okay. I mean, let's pretend I've got Desolator's CryptoEmporium.biz. Okay, cool. We sell 15 cryptocurrencies and I want to add a 16th one. So I want to add Dogecoins because we don't trade in those, but we've had a lot of demand for them. A lot of customers talking about it, and I don't want the customers to go somewhere else because they might like them better and then leave me because they have lower fees and a better website. So, okay, what's the first thing I have to do? Well, what's the most Dogecoins that I think somebody would reasonably withdraw, or within the limits of what we placed on our website, how much are we going to let people withdraw? So it's like, okay, I got to spend $10 million US worth of Dogecoins. I have to buy them up just on various markets, whatever, and then hold them just so I can cover people's trades and cover the withdrawals. So that if, on day one, somebody comes in and says, I'm going to buy 500 grand worth of Doge, and also I'm withdrawing it, and I'm going to hold it in my wallet, and I'm going to hold them for 10 years. Well, that's their right. That's how an exchange works. I have to have that many Dogecoins to cover it. So if I'm an exchange, I need to buy up a whole bunch of the currency before I can list it. Well, what happens if it's just a day one free-for-all? Just day one, oh, look, this person has 2 Chia. 6 seconds later, they have 2 Chia. They have 2 Chia, because every time a block gets solved, the person who solved it gets 2 Chia. But, day 1, 2, and 3, the world supply is, not enough. And there's nowhere you can go to buy up, 10,000 Chia so that you can start trading on your exchange. So pre-mining it and then giving it, not lending it, giving the currency to an exchange is usually how people get listed on an exchange. It's self-serving, but also kind of a bribe, but also kind of that's how it works, and you're not getting listed anywhere if there's not enough of your damn token to go around. So I get it, but 50%, 21 years worth? Are you out of your mind? So if you haven't gotten it already, and I did do multiple takes of this, so I forgot what I said, sorry. The Chia group project, whatever the hell company, whoever they are, they said, we just have it so we can lend it at 1% interest or whatever, just at a slight fee. We're going to lend the balances in the coins to exchanges so that they can open up and start trading, because we want people to be able to trade it and we want a higher market volume. Okay, but I mean, you really could have done that with 1,000 times less than you actually did. So would I call it an exit scam? No, it's pretty high profile people involved, but also they thought that it was going to launch at $20 and it basically launched at $1,000. So all of a sudden now they're holding enough, Chia to buy Honda Motor Corporation or Ford or EA Games. I think they could actually buy Sony with that much money. You guys don't even realize how much money $38.8 billion is. And yes, I know, if they just went to a random exchange next month and said sell order $35 billion or $38 billion worth, there wouldn't be enough buy orders to cover it, and it would be worth 0.0000001 pennies by the time the first 0.0001% of it got sold. There's not enough buy orders to cover it. They can't logically cash out $38 billion, but they could cash out a pretty damn good fraction of it. And that's what I'm worried about, is that downward trend, that downward push, that big, sell, where they keep, I could use another million. Our group, we should pay our volunteers more. I could use another house. I could use some more or whatever. I mean, just think, every single person who has access to it is just sitting there. It's free money, and the only thing keeping them from touching it is, we told the community we wouldn't. It's only going to be used for lending. Yeah, sure it is. So nobody believes that. But do you think that after they worked on it this long and they actually believe in the lower CO2 emissions and all that, it's very respectable, high-profile, long-term, math and programming experts behind this project, do you really think that they're going to burn it all to the ground, make a giant sell-off that they said they wouldn't do, everybody loses any kind of confidence in it, it crashes to a penny, they run off with the money and the Chia network's dead, everybody stops mining it and that's it? I'd like to think no, but that's a lot of money. I mean, it is a lot. But yeah, there is absolutely no getting past the pre-mining issue. Like I said, even if every one of them is an absolute saint and will stick to it till the day they die, what's to stop somebody from kidnapping them, torturing them, and saying, where's the location of your backups and your keys? Somebody's got a gun to their children's heads and saying, I am going to kill them if you don't tell me where you hid your cold wallet holding all of this Chia. These people better be living in a fucking fortress, and from what I saw in the webcams, they're just in some house somewhere. I'm actually surprised nobody broke in or kidnapped their family yet. What is anybody waiting for? We know these people's first and last names. They are mishandling this so much. They are underestimating criminals and assholes online and hackers and everything. It's like they're new to the internet. So speaking of that, Pre-mining, that's what killed it. That's what killed it. They are so irresponsible, stupid, and greedy. It's such a bullshit statement that they're never going to sell it. Anyway, let's talk about what else they f***ed up. As if the 21 years worth of Chia just sitting out there somewhere looming over you as a disaster waiting to drop on your head wasn't enough of a disincentive. Let me tell you some other reasons you shouldn't touch Chia and why the people behind it are morons. I really feel like I should just leave the video at that. I think I proved my point, but okay, so they're holding all the chips, and I do mean that, you know, figuratively and literally. They're holding all the Chia, so they thought none of the exchanges can open until we tell them to, because we have to send them the currency. So until we do that, nobody's trading. So we turned on wallet-to-wallet sending, so people, I guess, can trade amongst themselves, they can pay for goods and services, whatever, cool, but nobody's cashing out on an exchange for US dollars yet. Approximately 4 days before trading even went live, some exchange that I now absolutely despise them for doing this. I don't blame them, but I'm not going to name them because I don't want to endorse them. Even if I say they're horrible human beings, but also you can go trade Chia right now and sell it on their market, some of you are going to go do it, so I'm not going to name them. If you're real motivated, look it up, but honestly, don't support these pieces of shit. So what they did is they're basically selling Chia futures, I guess. I don't know enough about stocks to know if that's the right term, but they were selling what was commonly referred to by, I believe, themselves as IOU tokens. So they're selling, they'll sell you Chia for whatever the bid currently is, with the understanding that you're buying an IOU for Chia that they will have and acquire in the future. So I guess all the clueless dumbasses in the Chia Foundation, or whatever the hell they call themselves, everybody involved in the project, not one of them thought that somebody might do this. That they might open an exchange early that's completely out of their control and start just sending the prices straight to hell. They never thought somebody would have the balls to do that because they thought they were in control because they own $38 billion worth of Chia. So they run everything and they can boss everybody around. They can control everybody because they control all the currency. Holy shit, these people are morons. They don't know how the internet works. They don't know how crypto works. They underestimate the greed and ingenuity of people. They just think everybody's, well, I mean, they came from all the open source, free, hipster, everybody gets along, altruistic bullshit communities. No, X% of people on the internet are greedy, scamming, borderline criminal assholes. They're not going to listen to you. They're going to go around you. They're going to try and hack you. They're going to lie about stuff. They're going to do pump and dump schemes. Okay, you have to think when you invent anything new, software, a crypto, a new business, a physical, anything. I mean, throw a damn cheese festival in Wisconsin. You have to think, what is the worst of the worst 1% of mankind going to do to try and screw this up? How is the worst 1% of people going to try and break our new game that we're going to launch on Steam? How is the worst 1% of people going to try and attack our new bank servers? What is the worst, scummiest, greediest pieces of human garbage on this planet going to do to try to screw with and then insert anything you're doing? Any project, anything. They went into it thinking we're in full control and everybody's going to listen to us and everybody on the whole planet is a saint. No. Oh no, we love money.douchebagcentral.io or whatever the name of that exchange may have been. They opened up trading 4 or 5 days early. They ignored your $20 price point that you're recommending to everybody and launched it at $1,000. It hit $1,900. It dropped to $700. And we're all just watching it. All of us Chia miners are watching it. And we're watching everybody get in real early and sell, because they want to cover their initial investment on the hard drive so that at least break even or better, at least. Then they can start sitting on some Chia long term, but they want to cover your ass first, cover your initial investment first. So there's all this sell pressure. We're watching, the initial investor's like, ooh, I'm going to get in early, even though they set the price point at 1,000. Well, that's batshit crazy. It worked for a little bit. It did reach 1,900, but it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. Then it tanked down to something more realistic, which was $700. I'm actually astonished that it climbed back up to about, like I said, 1,100 right now, last I checked. But we're all watching it go from 1,900 to, oh, look, it's been another hour, it dropped $100. Oh, look, it's been another day, dropped another $300. It's like, we're just watching it go down. There's nothing we can do about it because those morons still won't release the money to the major exchanges and launch it early. Now it's been weeks at least. I think, what was it, May 1st they did it? It's May 21st. It's been like 3 weeks of just letting rampant IOU trading and whatever go. And then when actual like sendability of the coins opened, people started actually sending coins to this exchange, and now they probably are hoarding, 100 to 1,000 to 10,000 Chia, some probably in that neighborhood. So they got their money. They are now in full control of the entire worldwide price of Chia. It's completely out of the project's control, and every other major exchange is pissed because they were probably told by the Chia project, oh, don't worry. Nobody will trade it until we allow them to, and we're going to let you all launch it on day one, and everything's going to be even and fair. Then somebody jumps in and goes, YOLO, and just starts selling IOUs and then collecting Chia, and now some tiny little no-name, who knows, not respectable exchange that could just run off with all everybody's money at any second now, they're in full control of the price of Chia, and they have the biggest supply. And then week after week after week after that happened, you still haven't sent the funds early to Coinbase and to Bitrex and to Kraken and to anybody else respectable. In fact, these assholes thought they were so fucking smug and arrogant that they could not give a list publicly of any of the exchanges that they are giving money to. Everybody was asking on every live stream and every video they post, what exchanges are these going to be live on, comma, I want to pre-register and verify myself on them. Like, if I use Kraken and Kraken's not picking up Chia, and it turns out I should have signed up for Bitrex, then I want to sign up for Bitrex. And you have to, for all the Banking Secrecy Act shit and all the tax and IRS crap, you have to, send them yourself, your face with your photo ID legible, in a mirror, plus your social, plus your, EIN or TIN, your tax identification number in the U.S. if you're an LLC. Then you have to wait, 72 hours for them to verify it. And then, there's a big backlog because everybody's signing up at once. And so if they launch Chia all of a sudden out of nowhere, they didn't disclose any kind of date, and they didn't disclose what exchanges it was going to be, you might be stuck waiting 1 to 2 weeks before you can set up an account there, and the whole time you'll be watching helplessly as anybody who had an existing account there just sells off all their Chia and the price tanks. When you're you pre-mined and are holding 10 Chia, they're worth, about 11 grand right now, and you're like, oh shit, they didn't launch on Binance, they launched on Coinbase, pardon me. So you real quick start signing up for Coinbase because, I got to sell these off as quick as possible because everybody else is going to sell it off and the price is going to tank. So you real quick, take a picture of your ID and you give them all this. They're like, okay, we're going to wait and we're going to, verify your identity with Experian or whatever they do. And then another day passes and it drops another 10%. And another day passes, drops another 10%. You're literally losing money because these assholes want to be in full control. Everything's a fucking mystery. Everything's a fucking, we're all hush hush. We're not going to tell. And why? Why, Chia Project, can you not disclose which exchanges are going to cover your shit so we can all sign up for them ahead of time, with enough time, and trade at day one? Why? What is the reason behind it? I can't even think of a reason, a logical reason, other than, there is one. There's one that comes to mind. They were bribed by a bunch of millionaires and, buddy friends and partners and all this other shit in the crypto investment community to let them know ahead of time where it's going to be traded and all this shit, so that they can get set up day one and then not have any competition. So they can buy it way up at a low price in case it spikes, or if they're mining it, they can, acquire it ahead of time and then sell it off real quick if they think it's going to drop. So either way, they'll have the advantage because they'll be able to beat everybody by a couple days. So the only reason to not tell the community, not disclose any of the information about where it's going to be traded and who they're lending the coins to, is so that a small group of people can know and the rest of the community doesn't. So that all their buddies that they leak the information to can manipulate the market and make the most money by getting in first. That's the only logical reason that they would not do it. And they haven't provided a reason for them to not disclose anything about it. Trading launch dates, any of the shit. Everything's a fucking mystery that they just blindside people with. And they just get on Twitter and they're like, we're going to launch trading tomorrow. Surprise! Can any of you even think of a way to piss off the random members of the community more than just blindsiding them with information that they shared with other people, but not, anybody outside of their circles? It makes it look awfully shady, and you don't want to look shady if you're currently holding 21 years worth of Chia. So let's see, what do we got so far? They named it something stupid, pre-mined 50% of all Chia that will ever exist. Just kind of said that they needed to help get it up and running, that they're going to lend it to other exchanges, but then never distinctly that I saw promised to never sell it. So it's just a greedy cash grab by them, and it's a liability because anybody could steal those Chia from them somehow, either hacking or physically, just saying. So we got this giant liability hanging over our head because of the pre-mining, either by them directly or indirectly. Then they thought they were in control of when the exchanges would open, and one opened anyway based on IOUs, and then just started collecting them and made it come true without any action from them. And then even weeks after that happened, they still won't open the normal exchanges so that they can start competing as early as possible and try and undo the damage. But wait, there's more. About 2 days ago, they just randomly threw out there, okay, we're going to have pooling open by for sure the end of the month, but honestly probably just later this week. So with like less than a week notice, they're like, oh, we're gonna finally get the pooling thing working. So what's pooling? Well, it's really simple. I mean, I could explain it for like 10 minutes about, the math and all this, but basically, if there's 100 people mining Bitcoins, then 144 blocks are mined every day. You're probably going to solve a block every day and get the reward. Cool. So every day, pretty consistently, might have a good day, might have a bad day, you're going to get paid. If there's 100,000 people attempting to mine Bitcoins, the difficulty goes up, as it's called. The size of the network, the number of competitors, however you want to say it goes up to the point where it's like, well, once every 5 years on average, you're going to get a reward. Like, it'll be a lot, obviously, but I mean, we want some consistency here. So when Bitcoins were invented, shortly after, people started pools where you all calculate on behalf of the pool, and then when one person solves it, the pool like submits that and says, okay, we just solved the block, seal it up, give us our reward, and then they split up the reward based on the contributions and speed and time put into the system by everybody in the pool. And they have like these little mini proof of works that are just scaled down. They call them jobs. So if, I can do one job every minute and then, I contributed 10 jobs and then somebody else did 20 jobs because they got twice as fast of a computer, then I get a little fraction of the reward. They get double the fraction that I got. So basically, when Bitcoin started, it was 50. So they would take the 50 Bitcoins, break it up between everybody in the pool based on how much calculations they put in, provably. And then they all get paid for exactly what they did, even though they didn't have to wait until they personally, by sheer luck, solved a block themselves. Right now, with, I think, 20 to 30 terabytes, somewhere in that neighborhood, I think that's the total between all my systems. If you add it all up, I think it would be 3.5 months on average that it would take for me to solve a block. I mean, if we're talking Powerball level odds, I could solve 10 in a row and be rich tomorrow. I mean, who knows? Also, I mean, the 3.5 months is not like a countdown timer, it's probability. So I could mine at this rate with nothing changing for 3 years and never solve a block just because I was slightly unlucky. So what I'm saying is there's enough participants in Chia right now that we need pooling. We need it. And there are people that are big enough to solo mine. There's people with like rooms full of hard drives, data centers full of hard drives, and they're like, yeah, I personally represent 5% of the entire Chia network. So with like 4,000, Chia being generated every day, I'm going to get 5% of them because I am 5% of the people contributing to it. So I'm going to solve 5% of blocks. It's very linear like that. That's exactly how it works. So that's great. So the whole point of cryptocurrencies is to be decentralized. You want random individuals all over the globe, big, small, medium, everything in between, to be contributing to this so that if something happens to one of them or one of them tries to do something malicious, forges a fake block, fakes a transaction, does something shady, whatever, they can't do it because there's a swarm of individuals outnumbering them. Well, right now, the only people where it's profitable for them to mine are people who threw like 10 grand or more at the problem. I mean, right now, if you have under a petabyte, there's no reason to eat. You might as well just delete all your plots and give up. And a petabyte is 1,000 terabytes, and a 12 terabyte hard drive is about $500. Just to give you the scale, I think I said 10 grand, make it 100 grand. I mean, it's yeah. By the way, you don't just need the space, you need the plotting calculation time. So you need like a mountain full of expensive SSDs and a whole bunch of fast processors. So you need a room full of computers to consistently get paid at all. Anything more than that, like if you got 20, 30, 40, 50 terabytes, which is quite a lot, you're basically gambling. Like every day I wake up and every 24 hours I have like a 1 in 140 shot of solving a block. And so far I have been on the downside of that. I have not been lucky. So I took my time. I spent a couple $100 on hardware, plus burned up a bunch of my existing hardware, put a whole bunch of wear onto my SSDs, burned a whole bunch of electricity calculating the plots, and supported the Chia project, helped, maintain the network by mining it, made it grow, promoted it, and what do I get for my time? I get absolutely dead ass nothing. Have not made one fucking penny. We need pooling, and we need pooling now, because what's happening is every single day since, honestly, the middle of April, let alone May, people are like, okay, the network size is absolutely running away from me. I literally cannot plot fast enough to keep up. And actually, I'm running 3 extremely fast plotters. And almost every hard drive I have is full, plus the ones I bought just for Chia purposes, which is not many, but okay. And even with just that system, which has taken up multiple circuits in my house and putting off a bit of heat, I cannot plot faster than the network is exploding. So I'm never going to improve it past 3.5 months. It's not possible right now. So I wasted my time, wasted my money. I should just sell off my hardware and give up. Except no, I could just sign up for a pool and I'd be making about $28 per day, consistently. But it's not a priority to roll out pooling. Yeah, we get it. Everybody wants pooling, but it's not our top priority. That's what I keep hearing from these out-of-touch, clueless morons. Do you just want this to be another crypto where a bunch of investing billionaires and speculators in China run everything, and basically they're all communist puppets anyway? So if the government tells them, hey, China represents 85% of mining because they're the only ones with the access to the hardware and the time and the mining and the space, I'm not going to explain it, but a 51% attack and just destroy the entire network and steal all the Chia, and then they convince or force enough of them to do it, then it's dead. That's the end of it. Rule number 1 of new cryptos is make sure that everybody in the world can participate fairly and get paid in a timely manner. Otherwise, China's just going to take over the whole damn thing, which is what they did right now. That's the state we're in right now. So those assholes at the Chia project just announced with like zero warning that within the next couple days, we're going to roll out pooling. By the way, when they roll out pooling so that everybody can get paid consistently, we have to delete all of our plots and start over. It took me around 2 months to plot all those, like the 20 to 30 terabytes that I've got right now. And I've already done irreparable wear and damage to my SSDs that I use to cache the plots. So I get to start over at 0 just so I can get paid consistently. That'll be great. And then it's going to take me 2 months to fill this back up. How big will the network be in 2 months? You morons should have rolled out pooling about a day after trading was turned on. If you were too stupid to see this coming, then you're too stupid to manage the project and you need to resign. Every single one of you needs to resign and find somebody more competent to take your place. Because this is like the 10th fuck up in a row. If it gets worse. I'm already sick of talking about this. So let's just blow through the rest of the bullshit that they screwed up. Actually, you can pool mine as long as you trust a Chinese company with your private wallet keys. Or like private plot keys or what. I don't get how it doesn't work like a normal crypto, but basically they can steal all your money. You gotta hand over something that you should never hand over, which is your private keys, and then okay, now just trust us, just wink wink nod, trust us that we'll pay you fairly and that we won't lie about the solve count and the number of participants, and we won't just run off with all of your money and drain all your wallets and steal everything, or run off with your plot files. Well, that's not a good idea. All we got from the Chia project was, well, we didn't think people would do that, but also you shouldn't do that, it's not safe. And then just nothing, silence. So people are like, so are you going to mitigate this problem? By, like, right now we basically got a gun to our head saying, do you want to keep making 0 or do you want to risk turning over your private keys to a Chinese company? Make your decision. They both suck. How about you guys roll out pool mining? Like real pool mining, like blind, no trust pool mining is what we need. Where you can mine on a pool and you have your proof of work and all that shit, without having to turn over your private keys and full control of your entire system to some random company you don't trust who just set up an exchange and says, hi, we're nice. Especially one in China. First of all, that should have been part of the protocol from the get-go. They're just like, we'll work on it later. We'll just launch it for now, we'll work on it later. Well, look what state the network is in right now. It's in flames. You have mismanaged the entire launch, the entire project from start to finish, and I honestly hope it crashes. I hope it blows up in your face. I hope it burns. And honestly, I hope that you're so negligent and such liars and so crooked with the way that you did this that every one of you assholes goes to jail. I really, really, really hope so. If you think that sounds harsh, I mean, there's like, oopsie, we made a mistake and we didn't have any foresight. And then there's like criminal levels of negligence, and that's where they've hit. I don't know what the relevant laws are or even what countries half these assholes are in. But if it turns out that they're selling shit on the side, they violated like an express written agreement that they gave out to the community as, oh, we won't do this or we will do this. Or it turns out they were in cahoots with the one exchange that launched earlier or something like that. Or it's just, wow, they made promises and they made financial statements that turned out to not be true. People lost money because of it. Now they're at least civilly liable. I would love to see that. These assholes and the stupid way that they launched this, it all deserves to burn to the ground. At this point, if you invest one fucking penny into Chia coins ever in your entire life, you are out of your fucking mind and you deserve to lose it, along with the assholes who have botched this entire project. They worked on it for years. They burned years of their life getting paid absolutely zero to make this work, and then they fucked it all up in 3 months. Amazing. Their whole outlook on all this was that nobody will ever do anything bad and everybody's all free open source software. Everybody trusts each other. Let's all sing songs and hug each other and hug trees. And the world is a terrible place full of criminal assholes who are greedy and self-serving. And it turns out, shockingly, a lot of them are in China, it would seem, by the evidence of how this rolled out. They were totally blindsided by an exchange opening early. They were totally blindsided by people wanting to pool so that they don't have to continue making zero. They were totally blindsided by the fact that somebody just threw together just trust me with your private keys pool. It's just, how much shit can you possibly not think people will do? Because when money is on the line, people will do absolutely fucking anything. Every single one of you managing this project are clueless. You don't understand mankind. You just don't. You don't understand the internet. You don't understand the crypto community. And that's why you fucked this up so bad. And I can't wait to see it burn down. I cannot wait. I hope every one of you involved loses every penny you own. So let's get to the last two that were in my notes. They had a publicly edited wiki because everybody can trust everybody and everyone's an awesome person and ooh, altruism for the win. Oh, everybody will just come together and manage everything because communities and wikis and woo. Somebody managed to edit the wiki page that had the download link. The official wiki that had the download link for the Chia mining software, and they replaced the link with a malicious one that contained viruses. Because, get this, they didn't think anybody would do that. They think everybody in the entire world is a saint. Fucking morons! You are fucking morons! You just let one person just randomly edit your wiki and say, actually, this is the download URL. You had no controls over it. You didn't think maybe you should lock down that page. And now thousands of people probably had all their crypto stolen, password stolen, ransomware, whatever the fuck else was in the payload of this malware. Bare minimum, you made everybody reformat their computers because you thought you could trust everybody. You didn't think anybody might try to attack the download link and replace it with a malicious one. You just thought everybody would just be on their best behavior. Are you out of your fucking mind? Are you just new to the internet? This whole internet thing, you dumb boomers? Holy fucking shit. Okay, the last one. What do you learn in your first year of programming? I will tell you because I have 2 degrees in programming. Validate your input. Expect that the user will type in something batshit crazy and validate it. Give them an error, reject it, plan for it. If you make a form in your software that says, what's your first and last name, expect somebody to paste in the entire Declaration of Independence, followed by just a sequence of ones and zeros and random symbols. If you expect everybody to play by the rules and type in something that resembles an English first and last name using only letters, you're an idiot. So what did they recently f*** up? They didn't make sure that the amount of tokens in a trade couldn't be a negative number. So somebody tried to send somebody -1 coins or something like that. It crashed the entire network, stalled out the blocks, no new blocks were made for a couple hours. Because they forgot to block people from entering negative numbers in their coin sends. Holy shit. And they had to scramble to change the fundamental code to block negative numbers at the last second after this shit's already been live and it already has a multi-million-dollar trade and valuation cap and all this shit because exchange launched early and the whole project's completely out of their control at this point. And then whoopsies, the whole thing got shut down because oops, I guess we shouldn't let people send negative coins. The earliest known exploit of this that I know of personally, just me personally, I guarantee that it predates this by like 20 years, but just the one that I know personally was in the game Mordor 2 Depths of Dejanel. It was the only known cheat in that game and it was famous, okay? You create one character, you create a second character, and then you trade character 2 -1 million gold, which gives you +1 million gold, it gives them -1 million gold, and then you delete that character. And that was in like 1996, I think that game came out. It wasn't even letters. It wasn't even SQL injections. It wasn't even like buffer overflows. It was in a field that only contains numbers. You didn't think maybe we should block negative numbers. No letters involved, no passwords involved, no cryptographic, hash checks, real complicated shit, database entries and all that. No, in a field that contained nothing but integers, They didn't think to check that maybe it shouldn't be a negative integer. Are you fucking kidding me? If somebody in my college class did that, they made that bad of a mistake, I would say you should probably go work in networking or something. You're not smart enough to be a programmer. You clearly don't even understand the most basic, fundamental sanitization of user input. So if you're not convinced that these are careless, clueless morons rushing everything and constantly being blindsided by how awful humanity is, then I don't know what'll convince you at this point. You're just too stupid. Don't touch Chia, don't mine it, don't sell it, don't invest in it. I think just on average, the amount of f***ups per week is at like about 0.7. Somewhere in that neighborhood. Like major, critical, huge oversights and flaws, we're at almost one a week at this point with these idiots. Like entire networks screeching to the halt, critical flaws, critical errors, huge economy destroying, network destroying oversights. Like exchanges coming out early, pooling coming out early, malicious download attack. I mean, they're at almost one per week since they've launched. At this point, it is a countdown to see how long it takes for it all to collapse. These people will go down as the most moronic crypto developers in the history of cryptocurrencies. You're going to be hearing about them in textbooks for like the biggest, like, oh, this is amazing, to straight, wow, did they f that up? Yeah, what more is there to say? Don't touch it, don't support them, don't listen to anything they say, and just get some popcorn and watch it and go invest in anything else. Literally anything else. Thanks for watching. Please send this to everybody else. I think with this being like 50 minutes long, I'm going to make like a 3-minute hyper lightning round where I just list off all the shit for like people who already know the terminology. You know, like crypto professionals could just get a quick little like 3 to 5 minute, like, okay, here's everything they screwed up. Okay, I get it. I'm not going to touch it because this is more of an in-depth documentary / college course at this point. But, you know, hey, if this video helped you, leave a like on it. Please send it, share it with everybody. And I will see you guys next time.